Let's sit down. I want to teach something before we go. It is good. Sababu those who shall endure to the last, they shall wear the crown. So sometimes it's good to be ready to endure to the last. It's not easy, but the Lord has enabled us.
Amen.
I want to teach something which I begin the Lord has overcome this day of today. I just want to create an awareness because I believe kana kwamba when we were not aware, something was wrong somewhere. When we were not aware, Satan was working on something. When we were not aware, our right was taken away by the right things of this life. Because many times what is right with this life is never right with God. Many times what we think it is good, it is never good before God. So I want to place the teaching of today in the book of Ezekiel chapter 16. And I will read a verse. Your origin and your birth were of the land of Canaan. Your father was Amorite and your mother was Hittite. Your father was Amorite and your mother was Hittite. Listen to me. God is speaking to Israel and their beginnings. Today, because we are beginning a new chapter in our lives, we must also be aware of the past, what that was dominating in our life, and the origin of our beginnings. We were never born in heavens, though we descended from heavens. But those who carried us by their bellies were mortal men, serving other kingdoms. And many other times we find out that we partake from the kingdoms that we found them serving. The Bible continues to say that your fathers lived at the other side of the river. They lived there. Your father Terah used to live at the other side of the river. What does that mean? He was never connected with God. He was never one with God. He lived at the other side. His kingdom was far away from the purpose of God. These are the foundations we find ourselves in every day that we live. These are the foundations we find that we originate from. And many other times we forget how we suffer from them and we take life as normal. Many other times we forget how we suffer from them and we look at things and we are like, this one is passing. This one is going away. I tell you the truth. There are things, if you are not careful, they will never pass. They will torment you until they take you away. Because they are authorities from the foundations. They are authorities that carries you. When I speak about the past altars, that is where the command of launching you first began. That is where the authority to bring you in began. Where did the authority originate from? Ilitoka wapi? What are your roots? How have they been affecting you? To the far you have come. To the far you have come. Nini na ambacho kimekuwa kikikubeba? Verse number 2. Where is that verse? Verse number 2. Someone read for me verse number 2, please, before I can get it in my book. Your cord was not cut, neither were you washed with water. Your cord were not cut. Now look at this. What is the act of cutting the cord from a child when he or she is born? The act of cutting the cord is connecting the baby from the life of the womb and ushering him or her to the physical world. Are you getting me? That is where the child begins a new life. Unless the cord is cut, there is no disconnection from the past life. And this is how God speaks of us as believers. Many other times we grow and kind of overgrow with our umbilical cord not yet cut. And we suffer. Why? There is something that is still connecting us with the past. There are things that are narrowing us back to where we came from. There are things that are speaking authority. Why? They were never cut. They were never separated with us. And we can suffer without knowing. We can suffer. Why? Because when you are growing, your paternal Principalities still have authority over you. And they stay. You think life is so sweet. After you have enjoyed like 10 years, something will just attack and you start to deteriorate. What is happening here? They remembered there was a seed. There is one who was born for torment. We can never allow him to live free. There is one who was born to suffer. We can never allow him to live free. There is one who must pay the expense of our original seed to survive. So huyu mtu anafaa kukanga akiteseka. You know, when you are suffering, there is another who is enjoying life. When you are being tormented, there is one who is having a very merry life. And these forces do remember why there is something that is still connecting you. Something number 2, you were not washed. To be washed is to be separated now with lifestyle and to be given rest. To be washed is to be separated with lifestyle. When a child is in the womb, no one washes them there. When child is in the womb, they don't need cleaning. No. There is the rest they find there. But when a child comes out, there is a washing. Why? First thing, to begin a new life and then to have rest. We can suffer not to enter our rest because the filthiness of the past still haunts our life. The filthiness of our past life still grows thorns in us. Na unapata kana kwamba you have believed in God, but you have not entered rest. Bado vitu zinakusukuma, bado vitu zinakukula. You have waited on God for a certain thing in life. Umemwambia Mungu na kungoja katika hili. Mpaka kwa level unaweza uliza, kwani Mungu, si nilikuona ukijibu yule? Mungu, si yale maombi ya kiombo nilisikia na umejibu. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my life? Because something is causing you not to enter your rest. Washing brings a level of perfection and enters one to rest. That is the washing. The umbilical cord cutting, the cord cutting, it is separates. And when you are separated, you need something else. And that is why when we follow the way of the cross, what happens there? When the blood gushed out of the ribs of Jesus Christ, what followed was water. That when we were secured and saved by the blood, we were washed by the water. So that there can be rest at the end of the day. So there is a need for us to consider, where have we come from? Where are we now? Have we been separated? Have we entered our rest? And the climax of today, I want us to contend now for that fruit of the womb. That is the climax of today. You know, when we speak about the fruit of the womb, parents like us will think of children. They will think of the seed that we carry. But I want to speak of the fruit of the womb in this manner. When you go out to regenerate wealth, what do? You birth wealth. You birth another level of your life. When you are fighting for success, you must birth the success. That is why it is never easy. Labor pain is accounted in every area of our life. But many other times, we never put to bed. Many other times, whatever we are to bring forth, inakufianga kwa njia. What is wrong? Ama ni nini? Psalms 127 and verse 4. Ni nini na ambacho kinaweza tusaidia that we can contend for the fruit of the womb? Standing on God's promise at all times, proclaiming things that must come to pass. Standing on God's promise at all times, proclaiming things that must come to pass. Anyone who is expectant, it is never by surprise. She knows she is pregnant. Bwana asifiwe. Anyone who is expectant, akujangi kuambiwa na mwingine, wewe unajua next month ndio utapumzika. No. She can tell. I can feel the weight. I can feel the commotion. I can feel the jumping up and down. Bwana asifiwe. I am about to put to bed. I am about to bring forth something. Bwana asifiwe. So, there must be a positive communication. There must be a positive story between the expected and the expectant. We are the expectants here. What are we talking? There are seasons in life that can never happen until they are spoken out. There are things that can never become unless we say them. And many times we be silent. Na tunasema Bwana tunakungoja, ni vizuri ngojea Bwana, lakini kuna kitu unafaa useme. Wait on the Lord. Sikatai. But there is something that you must always say. There is something that is awaiting upon your voice, and unless you say it, it will never happen. Bwana asifiwe. 1 Samuel chapter 1 downwards. And Anna went before the Lord, and she spoke out. Many times we read this word just the way it is faced there. But I always tell people, read this word and master it content by content, event by event. There came a time in the events of time when Anna was sitting at a place of sacrifice. Then after the sacrifice was done, she entered another event. She sat at a place of eating and being merry. She attended the event with the family. And when these two events have elapsed, Anna entered into another event. And there came a time in her life where now it was she to address her barrenness. It was not another person. There were comforting words that were with her all the years of her life. And her husband was always like, do you know? Don't you see? Can you feel? I am more than 10 sons unto you. I've lived with you. I've never bothered you about childlessness. You have always been my personal person. You have always been the one I value. But Anna was like, no. Now the words of my husband can't fit here. There is something that I must speak. There is something that I must say. And today I am bringing you here. When we are contending for what we must bring forth, what I'm calling the fruit of the womb, something that was denied in the roots of the ancestral line. And it was denied unto us because we are a chosen generation. Do you know even you can find out that in your lineage kuna utajiri mwingi sana na ambao huwezi upata because you don't belong to them. Kuna vitu mingi na ambazo huwezi zifikia because you don't belong unto them. God separated you now. When God separated you, what have you been saying? When God separated you, did you understand authority? When God separated you, did you know that you carry power? When God separated you, did you just stand on your place and speak concerning the season? Anna is like, you know what? I've been waiting for children. I've been waiting to bring forth, but now I don't want to bring forth. God, are you the giver of children? Give me a son. Don't give me children. Don't give me a child. There are children at home. They are not mine, but they call me mommy. They call me mom. So what I need here is not children. What I need is a son. Who is a son? Look at the specifications of a son. God, I need a son who I can give back unto you. You can't give a child to God, but you can give a son to God. No. Anna was aware of something. If I am given a child, I can also live childless again. Because children come and go. But if I am given a son, then I am given an inheritor of the realms above. Sometimes we ask a mess. Because we look at the realms above and we see things that looks like the things that we want. No, don't ask for that. It resembles your blessing, but it is not your blessing. It resembles what you have been praying for, but please, hold on. Tell God there is a specific thing that I desire. There is a perfect thing that I desire from you. Don't just give me. No, God, take your time. Take your time. Take your time. It is my time to act. God, can I act in your purpose? Can I act in your way? Yes, I desire so much. It burns in me. God, I cannot go another day unless I become. But God, don't allow me to become my own way. Don't allow me to become even as per my prayer. Consider God as the maker. Stand at the place of the maker. You don't design your outcome. You don't design what you be. But you can speak the seasons. You can speak them out. You can say, and there are forces in the realms of heavens that are ready to propel each and every one that you say and bring it to pass. Bwana asifiwe. Bwana asifiwe. Are we ready to bring forth? Are we ready to bring forth? Before we can walk to the place where we entered these mountains as we are coming here, I tell you the truth. There are things you will live here, they will never find you at all. There are torments of life you will live here, they will never follow you there. Why? Our feet will pray specifically. Bwana asifiwe. Ilienda wapi ile miguu ya Joshua? Who can tell me the feet of Joshua, where did they go? The feet that were the ability to own. Wherever you will walk on, I have given you for inheritance. Where did those feet went to? Zilienda wapi? Bwana asifiwe. Ati those words ambao Mungu alikuwa anasema anaaminia watoto, I shall surely do as I hear you say. Where did that power go? Bwana asifiwe. Who took it away? Who told you cannot say it na ukifika nyumbani ifanyike? Who told you? Who told you cannot declare it? And who was Joshua actually? Who was he? A man to stand scientifically proven kana kwamba it is the world rolling. Sun is not rolling. But to tell the sun, stand there until I finish this battle. Who was that man? Where did that power go? Because man of faith does not want to speak. Anataka aende mbele za Mungu aliange. No, I am taking you out of there. Now when you stand up, speak. When you look at your life, speak. When you are facing hardship, speak. Say a word unto them. When things are not becoming, don't be silent. Speak something. Speak it out. Speak it out. Speak it out. Unless you speak, it shall never be. My last point. Contending for the fruit of the womb is the same as fighting for the revealing of the purpose of God. Genesis 18:14. Quickening times by speaking them out, for there are seasons that can't come until they are called to time of manifestation. That is Genesis 30, verse 1. I'm just giving out the books so that you can go and read because of time. Bwana asifiwe. There are things that were made for you 7 years ago. But have they come? Have they come? Are you with them? You are even praying that Mungu siwapange tukuje tena next month. Ikuje tena kuendelea kwa. No, when we come here, we will not pray for the same. Tuko pamoja? Can someone remember our morning message? We were bringing Jesus to the center stage. To the center of our life. And now when Jesus has occupied everything, what is the last word? Speak out. Quicken time. You have the authority to quicken time. Na useme kana kwamba kesho yangu ikuji kesho, kesho yangu inakuja saa hii. No. My tomorrow begins now. Why? I have the maker. I am not going to search for the maker. The one who made everything is the one who is in me. So I don't contend for the world. I contend for the spirit. And for the spirit I bring to the physical. Bwana asifiwe. And I believe kana kwamba the next vigil we will come for Thanksgiving. We will come for Thanksgiving. We will tell God thank you. Because when we visited the place of your feet, this is what has happened. When we believe that everything can be controlled by you, we have seen you control. So I wanted to reach there for today. We will continue with this message in another time, maybe in another place of worship. But today, allow me to tell you this. You have not come here in vain. And the moment Jesus took over, now we are left with two things. For us to speak specifically concerning the things you want. And don't forget number 2, quicken the time. You have the authority. Quicken the time. Call upon times to manifest. Bwana asifiwe. Call upon times to manifest. Usingoje wakati ukujibu, ni wewe uite wakati ukuje. Useme I can no longer delay. I can no longer stagnate here. Bwana asifiwe. Na najua kana kwamba our amen shall glorify the living God. So I want to reach there. I want to share a prayer. Let's just stand as we finish with a word of prayer together. Let us just stand. Let us just stand and make agreement. Let us hold hands together. This is what we always do when we come around here.